So it seemed like Xavi was possibly going to stay at Barcelona for one more season, but now today the reports are saying that Xavi does look set to leave Barcelona, and Barcelona are going to have to find a new coach in the summer. Xavi gave the club months to try and find a new coach to replace him in the summer, but it seems like this entire time Laporta has been just trying to convince him to stay. We don't know if the coaching options just aren't great in the summer. I would have really liked to see Julian Nagelsmann or Thiago Motta coaching Barcelona in the summer, but both of those don't seem likely to happen. It seems like Thiago Motta is off to Juventus, and Julian Nagelsmann just signed a contract extension with the German national team. And I said I wouldn't mind Xavi staying at Barcelona for one more season because maybe the coaching candidates in 2025 would be a lot better. Of course, Jurgen Klopp possibly would be available. Don't know if he would want to coach Barcelona, but at least they would have other coaches available because the candidates in the summer, it seems like it's Hansi Flick or, a couple other coaches. No one that I feel completely confident about. I don't know if you all feel the same, but that's how I feel about it. And it seemed that if Xavi was going to leave, it was going to be Rafa Marquez from the B team taking his place if the club just wanted to hire internally. But Gerard Romero, which we don't know how credible that is now, he just said that Rafa Marquez is not a priority for the club. So it seems like Barcelona are now back to square one. And for me, this is not Xavi's fault at all. He gave the club such a big notice. He told them months in advance, yeah, I'm leaving in the summer. And Laporta, instead of, having a clear plan to sign as coach in the summer and take the club forward, he still wanted Xavi to stay for one more year. Like I said, Laporta, I don't think that was the worst idea if the plan was to keep Xavi for one more season and then sign someone like Jurgen Klopp in 2025. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love to see that. But again, if Xavi's not in it, if he doesn't want to be there at Barcelona, then you can't force someone to stay. And Xavi, of course, he's had a pretty stressful year, I think, with the Spanish media on his back and with all the pressure with coaching a club like Barcelona. It just got to him this season, you felt like, and that's why he announced that he was leaving in January or February. And, given the past couple weeks, I thought it was possible that he was going to be staying at Barcelona, but now it does seem likely that he's going to leave, and Barcelona are going to have to find a coach to replace him soon. And with all the signings that Barcelona need to make in the summer, you don't want to sign them without signing a coach first, because you want to make sure that the players you're spending money on and giving contracts to are players that fit into the next coach's system. There was definitely a time in Barcelona's history under Bartomeu where they just spent money on players that didn't have a specific role in the team. They didn't really have a place in the squad, and it did not work out. We do not want to get back to that at all. So you have to make sure that the players you're signing in the summer, they have the clarification from the coach that they are going to have a spot in the team. And I don't know how Thiago Motta is going to do at Juventus, but this frustrates me because I think Thiago Motta would have been such a good coach for Barcelona. Maybe it would have been a little bit too early. He doesn't have that experience that some Barcelona fans want in their next coach, but he did so well with Bologna. He came off a very successful season with them. He took them to the Champions League qualifications for next season, and now it looks likely that he's joining Juventus. Deco was asked about Thiago Motta and asked if he kept up with him, and Deco said no, he doesn't really keep up with Bologna or what Thiago Motta is doing. So one of the brightest young coaches in the world, and Deco has no clue what his team is doing. And you need a new coach in the summer. For me, again, hindsight is going to be great. Let's say that Thiago Motta does succeed at Juventus, but for me, that would have been an interesting candidate for Barcelona to look into, but it didn't seem like Barcelona's board even thought about it. Julian Nagelsmann, it did seem like he was going to be staying with Germany. It didn't seem like he wanted to leave right before the Euros, and Barcelona probably needed a coach before the Euros, so I understand him not being the head coach. It would have been nice if Barcelona would have been able to land him, and like we said, maybe if Xavi stays for one more year, and then Julian Nagelsmann, Jurgen Klopp, those coaches would have been available in 2025. Those would have been better candidates for Barcelona, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. It seems like Barcelona, as originally planned, they're going to have a new coach in the summer. If it's not Rafa Marquez, like Gerard Romero is saying, then we don't know who it's going to be. It seems likely that it would be Hansi Flick, and I know some fans do want him to be the coach of Barcelona next season. I don't feel completely confident about him, but I hope that I'm wrong. If that happens, I very much hope that I'm wrong. And to some fans, maybe this won't come as a surprise because it was obvious that Xavi was likely to leave because he announced his departure earlier this year. But there have been some reports in the past couple weeks or the last month that were hinting that Xavi was actually closer to staying at Barcelona than leaving, but now that doesn't seem like it's the case. I thought maybe Xavi thought that there was some unfinished business because with the way that the season ended, maybe he wasn't satisfied and he wanted to go out better than that. And given the way that the form has shifted in the past couple weeks, yeah, that would have been great to see Xavi with this current form of Barcelona going into next season, and especially with the signings that he wanted to be making in the summer. Yeah, that would have worked out very well, but again, if Xavi doesn't want to be at Barcelona and there's too much stress and pressure on him right now, then yeah, he probably isn't going to be staying. And now it seems like we are back to square one. We don't know who the next coach of Barcelona is going to be, but Barcelona, of course, they have some work to do in the summer to find the right coach to take the club forward for the next few years.